All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Fathers in Real Estate podcast. Today we are joined by Seth Rhyne down in Charleston, South Carolina. He is with EXP, and I guess you could say we're kind of distant cousins in our family tree, is how that works. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule and joining us today. Would you kind of share with us how you got started in real estate and kind of where you are in your business now?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you for having me on. This is incredible. But so like you said, I am in the Charleston market. I have lived here for most of my life. And I've done a couple other things, but when I got into real estate, I'm coming into my third year. So I started December of 2020. Great wild time to get into real estate. But when I switched into real estate, I was coming out of a job that was a very demanding hourly job, and it was still commission based, but I had to be in a store a lot of times from 8 o'clock to 6 or 7 o'clock. And I enjoyed the work, but I was ready to do something that was going to be more flexible because I found out that my wife and I, Lisa, were going to have a child, and I wanted to be more present, and I knew I couldn't do it the way that I was. So I decided to hitch my start to real estate, and I haven't looked back. It's been great.
Awesome, man. So yeah, we kind of started about the same time in real estate there. So your previous employment was commission based. So jumping into real estate, did you jump in full time straight off the bat, or did you kind of ease your way into it?
So I did all of my education and got licensed while still working another full-time job. But then as soon as I received my license, I submitted my 2-week notice and just dove in headfirst, which was very lucky to do. We had kind of planned that was going to be the case a little in advance. So we sort of saved and set aside. Someone told me a year, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to have a year's worth of, paying the bills to give me a start.
That's awesome. I think that's huge for people looking to get into the business, making sure you have a safety net, those funds in there if you can do that. And I guess going from commission-based prior to this, it wasn't quite as scary.
Right.
As far as that goes, a lot of people don't realize that how big of a change that is going from a salary position to commission only. So you kind of already had that experience there. So awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So as far as, jumping in full speed, looking back on the past 3 years, if somebody wants to jump in today, if somebody was going to ask you, what would be the one piece of advice you would give them starting their career?
So I would say, man, the really important thing is to go ahead and sorry, I just kind of caught me for a blank real quick. I had my answers here and I just couldn't even think of it. I had a good thought.
A lot of people say, I think you said, fake it till you make it was something there.
As I'm doing it right now. No,
we're all doing it, man.
It was genuinely, that was the thing is like, you have to jump in with confidence. You have to just go at it. And if you're constantly telling everyone, I've never done this before, I'm brand new, I don't know what to do, you want to learn and soak it up. But at the same time, you've got to project yourself as a professional and as someone who's going to do everything you can to help.
Right. Now, was that difficult for you to do, or did you already have that kind of mindset before you jumped in?
I have always been that way. I am very confident and able to just give it my best go, have a good attitude and a positive attitude that I can figure anything out. And I think that really goes a long way.
Awesome. Awesome. Because you're a solo agent. You've been a solo agent the whole time. So just being able to kind of jump in and build off of that is huge there. So kind of switching gears is, what is one thing that you wish you would have known jumping into real estate?
Well, I would say I wish that I had started from the get-go focusing on farming neighborhoods that I want to sell in. Because I've learned since that it takes time for that to pay off, but it does pay off. So the sooner that you really commit to that and put yourself into a neighborhood, not necessarily just your neighborhood, but a neighborhood that you want to sell in, and you make yourself known, the sooner it's going to start to pay.
Right. So farming is huge. And like you said, the consistency is where a lot of people fall off. How have you built your business? What does that look like over the past couple of years?
I really strive to present myself well on social media, and that can be across multiple platforms. Whatever you're good at or that you use, I think to really buy into it, connect with as many people locally as you can, businesses, other people who are influential, your good friends who already are going to, they're going to recommend you because they're your good friends. I think the more that you are in front of people and the more they're seeing your name, the better. I started several Facebook neighborhood groups. Even if there was one, they usually aren't well run or they don't have a lot of content for people. But if you start providing, here's what's going on in town this week, here's something really interesting here or there, or here's what the price of homes in this neighborhood have been recently, people will start to join that group and they're going to start looking to you for advice. And also you'll build a lot of great friendships.
Awesome. And how has that evolved over the past couple of years as you've gotten the more experience under your belt and everything? Is that something you're consistent with, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
It takes less time.
Right.
You get to where you start to build out a framework of how you're going to put stuff out as far as advertising and content. And then you start to just sort of like put it on to pilot. Like, I know that this month we did this event last year. It was easy. I've already got a template for it. Let's do it again. You don't have to reinvent the wheel after a certain amount of time, and things start to kind of fall into place.
Do you think that's something new agents struggle with, is you try to reinvent every single wheel that's already been there for you?
Absolutely.
Did you find that when you started as well?
Yeah, I can remember several things. It's like when you get your CMA and you start inputting people, and then you realize, wow, I could have just hit the help button and email, and this guy would have emailed me and I could have sent him and he would have done it all for me for free through my CMA. It's like I wasted so many hours doing that of hand, my double finger typing in names and addresses. Everything's out there, and there's so many people who are willing to help you, especially with my brokerage, EXP, your brokerage. There are so many resources that you just have to basically change a little bit, tweak it a little bit, and don't need to spend hours writing an email campaign. They're out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as far as learning all those processes and everything, kind of looking back over the past few years, what has been, and it's hard to kind of come to terms with this, what is your biggest failure that you've seen in your business or life? What is one of the biggest failures you've seen, and kind of what did you learn from it?
Man, I guess let me think back on more of a real estate one that happened in my first year. It was one of my earlier listings that I'd gotten. And, it was a good friend, and I wanted to do a great job for him, and everything seemed to be going well. But in the contract, I assumed that when the other agent said, yeah, that's fine, we understand that they meant that. And it turned out to be a situation where they wrote it a certain way to get a result that they wanted, even though we had agreed that it was not the case and had a different document. I wrote it the wrong way, but I didn't check it with anyone else. And they came back towards the end and said, gotcha. I got what I wanted. And I ended up contributing a chunk of my commission back to my seller just to make things right as I felt they should be. But it was one of those things where I learned it's like, not everyone is going to be honest and forthright some people's way of negotiation is deception. And it was, it was on me. I said, I should have caught it. I should have seen it. I should have had other people double check me that early on. And so I learned kind of that the hard way, but it's a lesson I won't forget.
I was about to say, you'll double check and triple check and have however many sets of eyes you need to take a look at that afterwards. So, and, unfortunately in this business, a lot of the public's opinion does kind of have that a lot of real estate agents are shady and do stuff like that. So, I mean, you saw it firsthand, unfortunately, but the type of agent you are, the type of person you are, you made sure you made it right with your clients, and that's huge. So,
yeah. And that's how you're going to build a business that is going to be one that people recommend and that's around for a while. Because being in sales most of my life, I've learned there are always going to be the salesmen, the stores, the shops, the businesses that their objective is to get in, get as much as they can from you one time, and that's it. And, they just leave wreckage in the wake. But the businesses that stay around and that create a great, benefit for their community and a great value for their community, those are the ones that work honestly and they go out of their way for customer service.
Right. And I feel like that's, we're so blessed to have the community that we have and those resources that we can go to and have things looked at and different opinions. A lot of people are on an island by themselves and they don't have that. So I think that's huge.
Yeah.
It's just making sure you do that.
Yeah. Put your pride aside and just ask for help.
That is the biggest thing sometimes, right? So talking about pride and kind of switching gears a little bit, you've got one daughter, Cece, keeping you busy on your toes. With being a father, how do you balance the time with those responsibilities of being a father and then being an entrepreneur?
That is a hard one. And that's one that I'm always trying to improve on. It is, I think recognizing the problem is the first step, you know what they say? And, but you have to, with your spouse, if you're a single dad, there's that aspect too. You've got to really communicate when your schedule is going to be a certain way, so that everyone's on the same page. You have got to set boundaries with your business. And when you mean to have family time, which I think you should schedule, if you're scheduling your day, you need to schedule family time in, because what you don't schedule will get pushed to the side, will get done last, will get done worst. And that shouldn't be your family. So set aside times, be intentional about it, and remember that your family is the most important meeting you've got all day. How you react, how you relate, how you show them your love. That's the most important thing. And,
right.
So that's kind of the way I look at it.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off there, man. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah. So prior to real estate, you said the hours were just so long, you didn't have that time. So it's a priority. It's on your calendar daily. It's there and it's a non-negotiable for you.
Yeah.
I think we hear so many times is, real estate's 24/7, and I think that's the wrong idea. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that comes from a busyness, not business, but a busyness mentality, the hustle mentality, the grind mentality. You can get pretty far and you can make the most, but at the end of the day, my goal is not to make the most. Mine's to have the best.
That's awesome, man. That's powerful right there, man. So with making sure the family time's on here, business time, my hands over there, how do you find time for yourself? Because, that's just important. Is there time for yourself?
With a 2-year-old? No, there's no me time. No, that's not true. I do try to create time for myself. And what I try to, one of the things that popped in my mind when you asked that is the little mundane things in the day. Like I like looking nice, coming out of the clothing industry and everything like that, but like taking care of myself. So like I have really nice shaving kit, use really nice shaving oils and lotions and stuff. So that 10 minutes in the morning of doing that process, getting the water really hot, all that sort of thing, just having that little process, that's relaxing if you take the time to just kind of close your mind down, just think about what you're doing and not let work. Don't be checking your phone. Don't wake up first thing in the morning, grab your phone and check your email. It's like when you're doing something, devote all of your attention to it, and you kind of get some rest and enjoyment out of the little things.
So do you have that routine that you try to do daily to be able to enjoy that time? Or I know you sit with a 2-year-old, it's hit or miss sometimes.
You have to be flexible. Yeah. I have a routine and a goal that I am constantly trying to reignite, to redo of things I like to do. But, some days I'm not going to get to the gym. It's not going to work out. Some days I'm not going to, I'm not going to get to go play golf because something happened. Cece's sick and I've got to go pick her up from school, or I'm not going to get to go do this thing that was for me. But that's okay. You'll come back to it later. Just schedule it in like you're going to do it and try to make it happen, and then roll with it if it doesn't.
Awesome. And that's another thing I think for, newer agents and other people is making sure you have a calendar. Do you use the old school pen and paper calendar, or are you straight to your phone and,
I am the worst with technology, but I know that it's important. So I kind of force myself to learn it. I would, left to my own devices, just write everything down on a calendar, but you quickly learn that unless that calendar is in your hand 24/7, you're going to miss something. You're going to forget a call, and you don't want to do that as a realtor. When you tell someone you're going to do something, you want to come through and you want to do it on time. So I think whatever calendar system you're working with, use it to its fullest extent, whether it's Google Calendar, Android, Apple, whatever. You got to use it and stick with it.
Awesome, man. And for those listening can't see it, but I see a guitar back there. So do you take time and play the guitar as well, or?
A little bit.
Okay.
I do a little bit, and my wife's a great piano player. So music, okay. I'm a much better drummer, but I can't fit drums in my office. So, but we love music, and I think that's a wonderful outlet.
Awesome, man. Yeah, those that are musically inclined, there, some of us don't have any ability at all, so we envy that.
You just hum along.
There you go. I'm good at that. I can tap a foot too.
Good job.
So talking about the struggles in trying to find time for yourself, what has been the most challenging thing for you in fatherhood so far? I know you're just starting out on the journey, but those days are the longest, but it flies by. So what has been kind of the biggest challenge for you?
I would have to say that because I guess compared to some, I started a little bit later. We had CC when I was 35. I was already into my routine and my schedule. And I think I had to put self aside. I had to learn to be a little less selfish. And that's probably been the hardest thing.
Is it getting any better?
Yes.
A little bit better?
Yeah. Because I see the benefits of it. You start to realize how much happier you are when you're doing something for someone else than for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they require just a little bit of attention there. And
yeah, a little.
I don't know if you were like us. It's like we hit different milestones and it's like, all right, they're still alive. They're breathing. They're good. They're healthy. So we must be doing something halfway right here.
Something halfway right.
Those little teeth and cracker things are keeping them alive or something there for a while.
As long as they're eating. Calories are calories, man.
Exactly. What, kind of going along those lines with the struggles and everything, is there something, we hear a lot of stereotypes, a lot of things that guys are supposed to do this and act a certain way or hold emotions in. Is there anything that, we'll say a stereotype of being a man and a father that you struggle with or that just really annoys you or aggravates you?
For me, I feel like one of the things is I'm not the financial guy in our relationship. I just, I used to take care of my own finances before I was married. but I did it my way and it was kind of sloppy. And I wasn't good at being detail oriented and copying everything down, writing down every expenditure, doing the bills, all that stuff like I should. And Lisa is so much more of a type A person, and she's really good at it, and she prefers to do it. And so I've kind of like handed most of that over to her. And I think that a lot of times when I'm talking to other guys and they ask me questions and I have to say, I don't know, like, what are you paying in your water bill this month? I was like, you'd have to ask my wife. I don't know. And that can be a little embarrassing. It's a little prick to the pride.
Right.
When you're not the one in charge of the purse strings. And I won't say in charge. It's just but it's like I really just let her run with it because she's so good at it and she does such a good job.
Right. Well, that goes back to what we talked about earlier, is having the systems and having those people who are beneficial and are, work well with that. So yeah, I agree with you, but I think that's changing, as the times change. But I look at it as, like you're saying, it's taken care of, it's done right, and it's one thing you don't have to do. So if something comes back, say, hey, I'm not in charge here. I don't know if you've pulled that card yet or not.
And I
not really
involved, but at the same time, you learn everyone's got different strengths and you just try to pick it up. Like if she's going to take the extra time to sit down and update QuickBooks, maybe I'm the one that's making dinner that night. Maybe I'm the one that's doing the laundry, and I just, be excited that I get to do that and that we're getting everything done.
Right. Being able to balance and, like you said, kind of help each other out and play off of each other's strengths.
Exactly.
And fill in the spot for the weaknesses there. Absolutely. So growing up and looking back over, not just real estate career, but also life, who are like the one or two most influential people that you have in your life as you've grown up and kind of gotten to where you are now?
I have to come back to my wife. Lisa has been incredible. I lost most of my immediate family younger, and she really helped me kind of create what family should be and what it just opened my eyes to what it could be. And then when I have crazy big decisions to make or when I have a dream, she's always been supportive and she's always helped create a path for me to realize dreams. She's like, that's great. How are you going to figure that out? And just been a wonderful support and a wonderful helpmate.
Awesome. How long have you guys been together?
This January is our 10-year anniversary.
Nice. Well, happy anniversary coming up as we're doing this on the 5th of January. So big plans?
Yes.
That you can talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go to Switzerland.
Oh, awesome.
For 10 days. Our anniversary is on the 25th, so we're going to fly out the 26th, and we're going to enjoy some Swiss chocolate, melted cheese, and do some skiing.
Hey, what better way to celebrate than those things, man? That is awesome. We'll be following you on social media and taking a look at that.
Oh, yeah. I'll try to give you some good updates.
We'll be waiting for it, man. We'll be waiting for it. Do you have time to listen to podcasts or read books? And if so, what are one or two recently that you've read or listened to that really have kind of inspired you, whether it be any aspect of your life?
I am so old school and so slow at learning. I'm just getting into podcasts, and I'm learning that I need to, like, when I listen to a podcast is important and trying to make them worthwhile, ones that are building me up. I think that's really good for podcasts. I don't use them as much for entertainment. They tend to be more of self-help and just growth oriented or real estate oriented. I read a lot. I am an avid reader. A lot of classics, histories, fiction. I love fiction. I am reading. I do a lot of reading as well for my business. I just finished Harris Rules. I don't know if you've read that one. Have you?
I have not read that one
Tim
yet.
and Julie Harris. They're a real estate couple. They have a podcast and everything, but their book is really good. It's got a lot of actionable steps that you can, especially early in my career in real estate, that I could just kind of like cut and paste.
Okay. We'll definitely have to check that out. And we'll put that title and description in here as well so other folks can find that. And, I know I follow you on social media and we've had that interaction there. I always see you and your daughter and your wife, at the library and doing this reading. So I think, that definitely is a big part of what you like to do and you guys enjoy. So it's always interesting. It's like, I know once or twice a week you guys make it over there at least.
We try. Here's my plug for local public libraries. If you don't realize what all they offer, you're missing out, and it's all free. Right. They've got for every age. Cece, even at her age, loves it. The story times that they put on, the snack times, they always have fun events, and it's a great way for you to go and spend time with your kids and your family, and there's stuff for everyone.
And it's so nice to see them enjoying that, not with their face in a tablet or a phone. I feel like that you see everywhere else. So it's nice to say keep it old school there with the books. But
it makes you feel a little bit better when it's a book. It's just part of it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you've learned from or an experience or anything over your career in real estate, or even since you've become a father, that you feel like would be beneficial to any listeners or anybody out there that you'd like to share?
I would say to expect yourself to give 110%. If you get help from others, that is wonderful. And I think you should ask for help. Put your pride on the back burner. No man is an island and no one can do it by themselves. And why would you want to? It's not a great life. But at the same time, when I say give 110%, it sounds like a little contradictory, but if it makes any sense at all, you just don't let your feelings get hurt if someone else isn't thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. You've got to just keep on going. You've got to focus on how you're going to make the people around you life better and just give it everything you've got.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. And kind of going back to the stereotype thing is, being able to put the pride away, being able to ask for help. I feel like a lot of times we just try to buck up and so to say, and just do it and push through. And you're 100% right on that one. So absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, any other nuggets you want to drop or anything for our listeners?
Man, no. This is great. It's kind of therapeutic to sit down and answer all these questions.
Awesome, man.
Think a lot. It's introspective.
Awesome. That's what we hope for. We just want, if anybody can get some little nugget out of any part of this, that's what we're kind of here for. Where can listeners find you online? What's the best way to be able to see your adventures?
I would start with at Seth.Rhyne on Instagram. That's probably my number one focus. A little more, it's got a lot of business, but it's got personal as well. So that's a good start. And then I'm on Facebook and TikTok. I haven't ventured too much into YouTube, but I need to, but definitely Instagram.
All right. We'll be waiting for some TikTok dances coming out in 2023 here. So
I do love to dance. I need to get more dancing videos out there.
Well, we're waiting for them, man. We're all going to follow you. We're all waiting for them, and we want to see that coming up in 2023. So, Seth, in closing, man, I just want to thank you for your time and sitting down and talking here today. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to do that. It means a lot, and good luck in 2023, man. I know we're going to get to work together on some deals, and
I hope so.
Go from there, man.
All right, Bryce. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely, Seth. We'll see you next time.
All right, bud.